get started in this tonight. Technicals up for coffees. All right, how's that? Can you hear? Oh, I have nothing important to say anyway. We like to start the program answering the most often asked questions for the weekend. So far this weekend, it's been about a shot that I did a couple of years ago on the Impossible Shots TV series. I found the problem. Try that. Okay. The shot in question is one that we call the blind shot. You see what happened, the producer of the program sent a 8-inch balloon 150 yards away from me. Then about 6 feet in front of me put up an 8-foot curtain where I couldn't see the balloon downrange. What was supposed to happen, I was supposed to launch arrows on top of this curtain trying to break the balloon 150 yards away from me that I couldn't even see. While the producer kind of walked me in like artillery, you know, tell me short, long, right, left, etc. But anyway, the question is, how many shots did it take me to break a balloon 150 yards away that I couldn't see? Ain't none of your business. More than one. All right? One of the shots we're asked most often is, how do you do that? How can you possibly make some of the shots that we see you do on television and some of the shots I'm going to try to do here this afternoon? For years, I had just a standard answer. I tell you, you have to practice. You have to practice a lot, and you have to practice doing it right. Because practice doing it wrong just make you good at being bad. But I was leaving an important part out. You have to have your equipment tuned. No one can shoot well with poorly tuned equipment. Just like no one can play a guitar well that's not tuned. When you shoot an arrow with fingers, the first thing that's going to happen is that arrow bends around the riser. And depending on how much off center your bow is cut, the more it's going to bend. Because the string is actually pushing the back of the arrow into the bow. So it's bending around the riser. In other words, it's doing this. As it leaves the bow, it bends in the opposite direction. Now, if it were possible to superimpose one on top of the other, it would look like this. Where those two cross is what's known as the node points. The reason this is important, it makes absolutely no difference where you aim the arrow. 100% of the time, the arrow flies to where those node points are lying. So I use a system called barrel shaft tuning, okay, to tune my bow, my arrow to my bow. As a right-hand shooter, what I'm looking for when I first start is for the nock to be sticking to the left of the point. That tells me that this arrow shaft is too weak at that length. So we can trim it off. I trim it shorter and shorter, making it stiffer and stiffer. I'm affecting that front node point. I'm walking it around. When I shoot and that barrel shaft sticks straight in the target, now I know that I have those node points adjusted to go straight to that target. Makes it a heck of a lot easier to hit the bullseye if that's where that arrow naturally wants to go anyway. By far the most often asked question we get is, why do you shoot that old straight limb longbow rather than the prettier recurve style bow? Well, that's pretty simple. I'd much rather be sitting around camp eating venison that's talking about how pretty my bow is. Longbows are the most forgiving style bow you can shoot. What does that mean? And how does it do it? Uh-oh. Well, you don't know it. Didn't do that this morning. Okay. It's too bad we'll switch bikes. Okay, where was I anyway?
Pretty close, eating venison.
Say what? That's right. Eat venison. And always talk about pretty bows. Okay. So the first shot we're going to do is what we call the under the limb shot. Here we're going to get down on one knee, holding both horizontal to the ground, simulation up under the structure. just to show you can't throw the strings along. Recurve bows, you could do this, but it'd be a little bit harder to do. Easy shot or simple shot, not the difficult thing. So let's make it a little bit harder. Again, holding the bow horizontal, this time upside down, firing the arrow from the bottom of the bow. Now I'm holding the arrow against the bow with my finger. I'm holding the arrow against the bow by torquing the string. Make it a little harder. Again, holding the bow horizontal, this time upside down and over my shoulder. Last but not least, the back pressure. All I got to say about this shot is I'm too old and too fat to do this. I really don't want to try it for once. All right, that's enough of the boring stuff. Now we're going to sweet bows. So this is a safari grade bow. This particular bow pulling 70 pounds at 28 inches. I'm going to switch to a different bow for this next shot. We're going to start having a little bit of fun now. So what we're going to try to do on this next shot is break 2 balloons with 1 pull of the bowstring by shooting 2 arrows at once. On a scale of 1 to 10 in degree of difficulty, this is probably a good solid 7, maybe you're probably close to 8. It's a fairly difficult shot. Matter of fact, this weekend we're running 50% success rate on this shot. I want to tell you that up front. Also, just to remind you, this is a free show, you know. First try, too. Don't see that? Okay. Back to the safari. Pull the table over. This next shot actually won me the position of exhibition archer on the All-American Shooter series. With one big twist. What I'm going to try to do for you guys is a heck of a lot harder than the original shot. You see, all the producers at American Shooter asked me to do was bounce an arrow off a piece of wood and stick it in a target. I didn't have to hit anywhere in particular on the target, just stick it in there somewhere. What I'm going to try to do today is place the arrow precisely enough on the back of the board to make it bounce up and break a white balloon that was attached to the end. Then the arrow will go on to the target and break the red balloon that wound up with a hole in her teeth. Let's see. Go ahead and put it on there and I'll adjust it. Looks like it's shooting across the grain, because it's shooting across the grain. Just a little bit. Trust me, we don't shoot across the grain. Bad things happen when you try that. And also, I don't want to stand straight up and shoot, because then the arrow's coming in too steep of an angle, it's going to bounce too high. If I get down on one knee, it's not going to bounce high enough. So I'm just going to have to crouch a little bit to get the right angle on this. Now, on the way up here, we was reading in the little brochure. I get the same brochure in the mail you guys get, you know. So I was reading on there. Said I was going to shoot a flame off the candle. Haven't done that in a long time, but whatever. I mean, we'll try it. Misconception about this shot. A lot of people think as long as you get close, the feathers will put it out. I could only wish that was right. It don't work that way. You guys have to hit the wick of the candle with the point to make it go out. If your feathers pass through it, it'll kind of flicker a little bit and then pop back up. No, I ain't doing it again. Yes. First time in a while we got on the first shot. Okay. Some shots are so famous. All you have to do is just say the name of the person that originally accomplished the shot. And everybody pretty much knows what you're going to try to do. In archery, there's a couple. But by far the most famous is what's known as a Robin Hood. Now, in order to accomplish the Robin Hood shot, the first thing you do is shoot an arrow into the center of the bullseye. That's important. It can't be off to one side, it's got to be right in the middle. Then with the next arrow, you shoot in the back end of the first, splitting the first shaft. That's a Robin Hood. If your first arrow was not in the bullseye, but you still split it with the next shot, that's what's called an accident. I have been fortunate enough to accomplish the Robin Hood shot on a couple of different television programs, but the first time I ever did it on camera was on a program on the History Channel named Extreme Marksman. Now see, there's a huge difference in the different networks. What I'm saying is, if you come over here to do a show on the hunting channel, normally there's one dude there with a camera, and that's all you got, okay? But you come over here and do a show on the History Channel, there might be 100 people out there, and they'll have a trailer truckload of toys to play with. My favorite toy was a high-speed video camera. Now this thing was an absolute monster. It took 2 men just to operate this one camera. And I can only imagine how many hundreds of thousands of dollars the thing must have cost. So it's very fortunate that I was the first shooter up, and they got my Robin Hood on tape. Because right after lunch, one of the gun guys shot their high-dollar camera. They were not amused, let me tell you. It would be extremely unethical for me to tell you which gun shooter did that. But I will tell you that Jerry told me he didn't have the pistol back in the holster before they was handing him an insurance claim. There was technical issues involved, so I let him try to explain that to me. And of course, the other famous archery shot is the William Tail. That's where you volunteer. Let me try to shoot a piece of fruit off your head with a 70-pound longbow, 50 foot-pounds of energy on the arrow. As you can see, there's absolutely no sighting mechanism on this bow. But I guarantee you I can do it. There's no doubt in my mind. You see, the problem is, I'm also pretty sure it would take me 2 or 3 tries. So, we're not gonna do that one either. What we're all gonna try to do for you is a shot that was made famous by a lady sharpshooter, Miss Annie Oakley. We'll try to break another balloon, but this time Amy. Obviously, it's a bad arrow.
Sure.
Right.
It's her fault, right?
Yep.
We're not through this show yet.
This is done.
This is it.
Work this out, you can have it. Ooh. Okay, third time. Sure. There.
There you go.
That's all right. Now we have some fun. So, I looked up to when I was growing up, was a guy named Howard Hill. I know a lot of you probably don't recognize that name, but I bet you've seen him shoot. If you ever watched the pictures from Robin Hood with Earl Flynn, you saw Mr. Hill in action. It's a phenomenal shot with bow and arrow. He was so good that the sportscasters his day said if Robin Hood and Howard Hill were to have an archery tournament, Robin might as well stay at the house. He wouldn't stand a chance against Howard Hill. What most impressed me about Mr. Hill was not his movie career, was when I read that in his hunting career, Howard Hill bagged over 4,000 bird on the wing with his longbow. So what I want to try to do next is imitate some of Mr. Hill's wing shooting. We'll start it off with a goose. Do y'all realize how hard that is? Here's that is by breaking that balloon.
There you go.
Next target's a little small wooden disc about the size of a duck. We call them wood ducks.
Whoa.
The next one's a little ball about the size of a bobwhite quail. Before I shoot this, I'll tell you a quick story about bird hunting with bow and arrow. A few years ago, I was out in West Texas participating in a bird hunt to raise money for a local charity. That first morning when they come to pick us up, I walked around and got in behind the driver. In a few minutes, this fellow comes sits down beside me. It was General Chuck Yeager. I almost passed out. I've admired that man all my life, and here he is sitting right next to me. Well, when we got out to where we was going to hunt, General Yeager conducted a standard safety meeting. You know, don't shoot the dog, don't shoot your partner, that kind of thing. But he ended it by telling the other hunters, oh, and by the way, the bow hunter gets the first shot. General, these men paid money. I said the bow hunter gets the first shot. You don't argue with a general, okay? Found that out. Well, it wasn't long until the dogs pointed. General Yeager told me, he said, okay, Byron, go flush it. So I eased up in there. There was only 5 birds that got up, but one of them was flying straight away from me. That's like a stationary target. Oh man, look at that. Whew. My arrow was eating that bird up. Then a shot rang out. Feathers flew everywhere off of my arrow. General Yeager shot my arrow, little bugger. I thought he did Mr. Nice Guy. He was just setting me up the whole time. Keeping with our theme of shooting birds, this next one I would like to be like a hummingbird. But then this game warden over in Mississippi informed me that's illegal. Can't be shooting hummingbird, boy. I didn't know that, but they taste just like spotted owl. You want one? There's no sense of humor at all. Don't go about liberation of breath mint, lifesaver. What?
Nothing.
It was a hand. All right.
Whoa.
Just like the candle. No, I ain't shooting at it again. Oh. All right, we need to get a volunteer to help us with this next shot. Why don't you get 50 volunteers?
You wanna do it?
We have a gift for our volunteer, by the way. Right there on the front. That's like cheap. Come on up here, sir. A big old boy, too. What's your name, sir?
Jackson.
Jackson?
Jackson.
Jackson, okay. That's what I said. Okay. How old are you?
11.
Are you sure? You had to think about that.
Yeah.
11. Would you hang on to this bow for me? Let me tell you guys what I'm gonna try to do. And I'll tell you what I need you to do to help me, okay? Now, I'm not gonna stand here and try to tell you that this is the hardest shot. It's not. Obviously, the lifesaver is the hard one. But I'm also gonna be honest with you. This is by far the most dangerous shot. For that reason, I only get 3 tries. If I cannot hit it within 3 shots, I have my apology. We'll try it for you tomorrow. This one is the killing time shot. One has an alarm clock fastened into that disc. With your help, I'm gonna try to hit that disc, tossed up in the air while blindfolded. Yeah.
That's my grandson.
Your job is to help me in case I miss it. Tell me where my arrow goes in relation to the disc. I'm not trying to hit that clock. I have to pay for them clocks. That thing is $5 at the dollar store. So I just want to hit the disc, okay? About how much I missed it. I said, oh man, that was a foot to the left, you know, a foot high, whatever. If I shoot low right, I can figure that one out. And swing it something awful. Oops. My McDonald's receipt from this morning. Here we go. Okay, this is what I'm gonna wear. I just want you to check and make sure it's real. I'm not trying to cheat. Don't worry about that. That's a booger, but it's dry. Good? All right. Well, you're in position, Jackson.
Jackson, drop that down on the floor. Right down this part.
We just have one more disclaimer before we begin this shot. If your cell phone sounds like an alarm clock, you better turn the booger off right now. Okay. Just on. My last bullet out of the quiver. You know what I just noticed? If you move real quick while you're blindfolded, you get real dizzy. Thought you'd like to know that. Wait a minute. Okay, where you at? There you are. All right, give me one.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
It's going up. Now. All right, Jackson, you ready? Keep your eye on it, okay? Here we go.
You told him not to move, didn't you?
I did.
All right, here we go.
Ready?
Okay.
Going up. Now.
Don't let these guys get you. That's the exact same payment every one of us in this room gets. when that big old buck starts walking toward our stand. Very much same reaction too. We normally don't cuss at him like that. Yes, Jason. We're gonna look for him. I'm not mad at you. The way you look at me like Thing back on here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is for real. Arrow on string this time.
You ready?
I think so, that's right.
It's going up. Now. Come on, Jack, back up. Good job.
That doesn't sound good, Jackie. Where'd that hit?
Right on it.
On the clock?
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you I didn't want to hit that clock?
Maybe.
All right, buddy. Helping me out, here's a copy of my More Than Travel Shop DVD. I've seen this on the internet for as much as $20. It's like having you a $20 bill. Do you know what that means? You have been compensated now, you can't sue. Thank you, buddy. You did a great job. That brings us to my favorite part of the program. That's where you guys ask me questions and I make up answers. Any questions? You want to know how old Wanda is? I'm ready. Yes, sir.
How long should we throw that stuff up for you?
34 years.
Oh,
How
that's
long?
34.
34
Doing
years.
exhibition stuff.
Except how many before that?
Well, we practiced a
See
lot.
what kind of shot you want.
We've been married 46 years.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever hit her?
Accidentally?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Before we got sidetracked, we started explaining about how the longbow was more forgiving.
Yeah, I got distracted. What the deal is if you try to move the string on longbow from side to side, you find you can't move it laterally. Versus recurve bow, you can push it so far, you push the string out of the string group. So what that tells you is you can't torque. You have to pull the string back in line with the center of the limb. If you pull out of line of center, that limb tip turns and faces the direction you're pulling. If you release, you're in that torque position it flips. That's what causes the arrow to go left, right. Who knows where it's gonna go, depends on what gyration the tip's in, where it's gonna send it. Longbows, don't care, just hold it on target. The limb will force it back to center and send it to target. Yes, sir.
I saw a video one time of you shooting off of taking one arrow and shooting off several different walls in target. What's the maximum walls you've ever shot at?
I believe that answer would be 6. I'm not 100% sure on that. I turned the arrow 180 degrees. I shot it this direction and it broke the balloon right here. So I turned it all the way around, brought it back and broke the balloon. I think it took 6 walls to do that. Y'all like that? I'll make up some more stuff. Yes, sir.
How'd you get started? How old were you when you started, and what did you start with, and how did you know that you had to go for this?
Okay, I started when I was 10 is when I found out I could hunt deer a month earlier with bow and arrow than I could with a gun. So naturally, as a 10-year-old, I asked my daddy to buy me a bow and arrow. It didn't work out too well for me. So I borrowed bows from neighbors and relatives until I was 12. When I was 12, I got a job one summer as a brick mason's helper, and I earned the money to buy my first bow, which was a Browning Wasp recurve, 55 pounds. But I was a grown man before I got it. A big game. I shot rabbits and squirrels and birds and stuff, but I never got a big game animal until I was pretty much grown. as far as what got me into doing exhibition archery, that'd be a rattlesnake. A friend of mine owned the archery shop, Jimmy Lake. And Jimmy and I were down in South Alabama scouting a piece of property, thinking about trying to lease it for bow hunting. And on the way back to the truck, it was just old sand road, not even dirt, just sand. On the way back to the truck, there's a rattlesnake crawling. He wasn't coming straight at us, he's kind of angling across, but Jimmy thought he was attacking. And I pulled a blunt out of my quiver and shot the snake through the head and killed him. And Jimmy thought I'd saved his life. That's the best shot I've ever seen in my life. So anyway, he wanted me to come down to his archery shop and shoot the longbow at his, he called it a jamboree, the weekend before bow season opened. I figured that'd be fun, it's only 3 miles from home. So Juan and I did that, and there was a manufacturing rep in the audience that pretty much told everybody he saw what he witnessed that day. Next thing I know, I'm getting a call from Kaz up in Buck Rub Archery in Waukesha, Wisconsin, when we come do his jamboree. I don't know about that, man. You know, a long way from Alabama to Wisconsin. He said, no, if you come up here, I'll fly you and your wife up here and pay all your expenses, and I'll pay you. Back up. You gonna give me money to shoot the bow and arrow? Yeah, sign me up, Bubba. And that's how the whole thing got started.
Did you always shoot instinctive?
Yeah. Well, when I shot longbow recurve, when I first got that recurve I was talking about, I put those tape on, those Fredbear tape on sights. I got some bows put on that. That taught me the importance of form and doing it exactly the same way every time. But as soon as I learned that, then I got to do the sights. Yes, sir.
You were telling me yesterday about the shot that you made on that MythBusters. You mind sharing that with these guys? That was pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, that was just aired Wednesday night on MythBusters Junior. If you missed it, which I guess just about everybody did, you can look at it online. Just go to the Science Channel, and they'll show it, let you watch it for free. Well, it's MythBusters Junior is the title of the program. And we were attempting to redo the Odysseus shot. Of course, Odysseus was a king, mythical king, that was away at war for over 40 years. Away so long that the kingdom wanted his wife to declare him dead and marry somebody else where they could be the king. Well, Odysseus heard about it, so he slipped back in the town and dressed as a beggar. And the deal was that the queen put out the deal, anyone that could string Odysseus' bow and shoot through 12 axes, she was married. And so nobody could do it, obviously, except Odysseus. And he stuck in there and shot through 12 axe handles and killed everybody in the story. But in the MythBusters, they want me to try to shoot through 12 axe handles, 3 each